You know, it's been 6 years. We've been waiting, especially when, toward the end of 2019, John Frusicante was announced that he was back in the band, and Josh Klinghoffer was leaving, and we thought, okay, so maybe at the end of 2020 or 2021 we'd get something, and those 2 years went past, and granted a lot happened during those years. I think maybe Red Hot Chili Peppers were planning on releasing something in one of those years, but then COVID hit, and then they kind of just pushed everything back, and here we are finally. Unlimited Love. It's their first album since 2016's The Getaway. I wanted to call it Dark Necessities for some reason, but that was just the lead-off single to that album. This is actually 17 songs. They haven't really done an album this humongous since Stadium Arcadium, their 28-track double album they did in 2006, which was the last album up until that point to feature John Frusciante. The two albums with Klinghoffer were a bit shorter. They didn't feature, a bunch of songs. It was somewhere between the realm of 11 to 12, depending on which one you got. But yeah, surprisingly though, for 17 songs, there's only two that I didn't really like, and it's not because they were anything terrible. I just felt like when it came to the rest of the stuff on the album, these songs weren't necessarily top tier. That being White Braids and Pillow Chair and Let 'Em Cry. They have their own intensity to them in some way, but again, I feel like they're the weakest of the fact that they're just not that memorable to me. But again, I don't think that they're terrible, but they're definitely the worst songs for me on this album for sure. In the okay tracks, we have It's Only Natural, Whatchu Thinkin', and Veronica. Veronica has that weird little, change up instrumentally. It's like you're flowing to it, and then all of a sudden the chorus comes in and you're like, I don't know, I'm not really feeling that, and that's what really brought the song down for me. And again, the other two, they're better than the songs that I don't like, but when it comes to the flow of the album, I feel like there could be something better with them in a way. And then the rest of the album I actually do like. I think Rick Rubin, who they've worked with before, came back in for production for this one, did a great job with them. He knows their strengths, and of course Anthony Kiedis and John Frusciante are just able to take tunes and just turn them into something great. And of course the kickoff Black Summer, which was the lead-off single to this thing, I think was great for a kickoff to kind of start with that low intensity and then pick it up around the chorus and through the rest of the song. It's definitely the correct way to go. Here Ever is definitely, I think, a great one. That bass line, oh my goodness, coming out of Black Summer where there's really no bass line, you're just left going, whoa, that's that Red Hot Chili Peppers bass lick that we've come to expect over the years. Aquatic Mouth Dance, which is a weird title, but again, funky as hell, I love it. Not the One is when they start getting a little bit more softer, a little bit more quieter, but sometimes that's their strength too. They did it for songs like Under the Bridge that worked very well in their career, so why not here? Poster Child is probably the most funkiest they have. I mean, again, there's that bass lick going throughout, along with John Frusciante on guitar. Everybody does a good job on that song. That song is basically them paying homage to, artists and other things that maybe inspired them to do what they do today. The great Apes, She's a Lover, These Are the Ways, which was made a single earlier today, I think was great. Bastards of Light, One Way Traffic, and The Heavy Wing, which, interesting fact, I had to look this up because the vocal tone from the verse to the chorus sounded different to where I'm like, this isn't Anthony Kiedis. That's John Frusciante singing the whole chorus on The Heavy Wing, which I thought was interesting. He has a little bit more, not necessarily raspiness to his voice, but he's a little bit more deeper, kind of almost grunge sounding in a way. It was very interesting because I had never heard John Frusciante sing before other than backing vocals. I'm not too familiar with his solo stuff, so it kind of threw me off at first, but I think it's really cool. I think that Anthony Kiedis taking a backseat for the chorus and kind of letting John Frusciante do that was a nice little touch. And then Tangelo, the finisher to the album, of course, is going to be softer and slower, but it gets the job done for what you want from an album closer overall. So, yes, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, was this album worth the wait? I would say yeah, and I would even say that it's better than the past two albums that have come out. Not that I have a problem with them per se. A lot of people say that they weren't good, but I think there's always something enjoyable from a Red Hot Chili Peppers album, whether it be their early stuff to now. And I think with The Getaway, the problem was they didn't really focus a lot on songs that were going to be big mainstays. Even some of the singles from that album just kind of, aren't remembered all that well. But this album, this is definitely a good one, and I think John Frusciante being back had a lot to do with the production being better and just the songwriting overall being fantastic and the instrumental work being more noticeable than it has been in the past. I feel like there was something there, and I'm not downing Josh Klinghoffer. People thought when I said, oh, Frusciante's back, Klinghoffer's gone, that I didn't like Josh Klinghoffer. I did. He brought something different to the Chili Peppers, but I just wasn't feeling that same magic with him as I was with Frusciante and Flea and Anthony and Chad together. It's just, when those four together, they always tend to work their magic and make something great. And that's why this album right here gets an 8 out of 10. It was a very, very good listen. Sure, again, there's songs on here that I may not go back to often, but there's nothing that I would necessarily skip overall, like one that I'm like, I'm not listening to that. Like, even the 2 songs I don't like, if I'm just listening to this album, in full again, I'm not going to skip them. I'm going to watch them. Sure, I might use them more as background noise, but, they're still enjoyable in their own ways. So, yeah, that's it for me. You can tell me in the comments below what did you think of this album. And until then, stay safe out there, wear your mask, get vaccinated, and I will catch you all in the next one.